In this video, I will show you how to crochet this beautiful flower lamp. For this tutorial, you will need a hot glue gun, a wire, green and white yarn, a 4mm crochet hook, a bell jar, a bottle fairy light. The on and off switch shouldn't take up too much space on the bottom because the center has to be free for the flower. And the last thing you'll need is wadding. We start with making the leaves, and to begin we make a slip knot. Then we're going to make 15 chains, and to make a chain we yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. After we made the 15 chains, we're going to skip the first stitch right here, and then we're going to make one single crochet into the second stitch. To make a single crochet, we insert the hook into the stitch. Then we grab the yarn and pull it through the stitch. Then we have 2 loops on the hook, and we yarn over and pull the yarn through the 2 loops. We're making another single crochet into the next stitch. So we insert the hook into the stitch, then we grab the yarn and pull it through, and then we yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. Into the next stitch we're going to make one more single crochet. So far we made 3 single crochets, and now we're going to make one half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So to make a half double crochet, we yarn over and insert the hook into the stitch. Then we grab the yarn and pull it through the stitch. And then we yarn over and pull it through the 3 loops on the hook. So that's the first half double crochet. And now we're going to make one more into the next stitch. After the 2 half double crochets, we're going to make one double crochet into the next 4 stitches. So to make a double crochet, we yarn over and insert the hook into the stitch. Then we grab the yarn and pull it through the stitch. Now we yarn over and pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Then we yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops. And that's how we make a double crochet. So we're going to repeat this 3 more times into the next 3 stitches. After the double crochets, we're going to make one half double crochet into the next 2 stitches again. So that was the first half double crochet, and now we're going to make another one into the next stitch. Now we should have 3 stitches left, and into each one we're going to work 1 single crochet. Now we are finished with one side of the leaf, and now we're going to change to the other side. For that we're going to make 1 more single crochet into the last stitch in which we made the last single crochet. Then we're turning the project so that we can crochet along the other side. We start with making a single crochet into the same stitch where we made the last 2 single crochets. We're going to make the same pattern for this side that we did for the other one, and we're going to crochet into the same stitches into which we crocheted on the other side. So into the next 2 stitches we're going to make 1 single crochet. After we made the 3 single crochets, we're going to make 1 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Into the next 4 stitches we're going to make 1 double crochet. After the 4 double crochets, we're making 1 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And now we should have 3 stitches left again, and into each stitch we're going to make 1 single crochet. To finish off the leaf, we're making a slip stitch into the same stitch where we made the last single crochet. Then we're going to cut the yarn and leave about 10 centimeters of the yarn. Then we pull the yarn, and now the leaf is finished. We are continuing with making the flower, and to start we make a magic ring. So to make a magic ring, I place the yarn around my fingers like that. So I create an X on top of my fingers. Then I'm holding and securing the yarn with my ring finger. So I insert the crochet hook under here, and then I grab the yarn and turn it around. And then I pull it through this loop. Now I grab this yarn right here again and pull it through the loop on the hook. Then I take the project off of my fingers, and here we have created a magic ring. So now we are taking the yarn that we are working with and the beginning yarn like that. Then we're starting the first row by making one chain. After that, we're going to make 6 single crochets into the magic ring. And it's important to include the beginning yarn when making the single crochets into the magic ring. So when we make our single crochet, we just hold the beginning yarn next to our magic ring like that and make our single crochet. After the 6 single crochets, we're going to pull the beginning yarn until the magic circle is closed. We end the first row with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. So I go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches to figure out the first single crochet, and this one right here is the first, and don't mistake it with the chain 1 right here. So to end the row, we're making a slip stitch into the first single crochet. We start row 2 with making 1 chain. So this is the stitch where we made our chain 1. So the stitch next to it is the first stitch of this row. For this row, we're making 2 single crochets into every stitch. So here I'm beginning with the first single crochet into the first stitch. Into this first single crochet, we're putting a stitch marker so that we know where the beginning of the row is. Then we're making 1 more single crochet into the same stitch. Now we have made 2 single crochets into the first stitch, and now we're going to continue making 2 single crochets into every stitch of the row. So that's the last stitch into which we're working the last single crochets of this row. And at the end we should have 12 single crochets in total. And don't mistake this right here for a stitch, because this is the chain 1 from the beginning. Now we can take out the stitch marker, and then we're going to end the row by making a slip stitch into the first single crochet of this row. So we are just skipping the chain 1 and making a slip stitch into this first single crochet. We begin row 3 with making 1 chain. Then we make 1 single crochet into this first stitch. Into the first single crochet we attach the stitch marker. Then we're going to make 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So that is the first one, and then we're making 1 more into the same stitch. So the pattern of this round is 1 single crochet into 1 stitch and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So here I'm making 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then 2 single crochets into the next one. And in total we make this pattern 6 times until the end of the row. At the end of the row we should have 18 single crochets in total. So now we can take the stitch marker out, and we're ending this row by making a slip stitch into this first single crochet of this row. We begin row 4 by making a chain 1, and for this row we're making 1 single crochet into every stitch. So we're starting with the first single crochet into this first stitch right here, and then we're putting our stitch marker in. Now we continue with making 1 single crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. That's the last stitch of this row, so we're making the last single crochet into this one. In the end, we should have 18 single crochets in total for this row. Now we take out the stitch marker and end the row as usual with a slip stitch into the first single crochet of this row. We begin row 5 with making a chain 1 again, and for this row we're going to repeat the same that we did for the previous row. So we're going to make one single crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. Here I am at the last stitch of row 5, into which I'm making the last single crochet. Then we can take out the stitch marker, and I wanted to show you again to not mistake the chain 1 from the beginning right here with the first single crochet of this row right here. So to end the row we're making a slip stitch into the first single crochet of this row, and that was row 5. We begin row 6 with a chain 1. For row 6 we're going to repeat the same that we did for row 4 and 5, so we're going to make one single crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. So to end the row we're making a slip stitch again into the first single crochet of this row. Row 7 also starts with a chain 1. For this row we're making a single crochet into the first stitch. And then we're going to make a single crochet decrease into the next 2 stitches. So to do that we insert the hook into the next stitch, grab the yarn and pull through. Now we insert the hook into the next stitch and grab the yarn and pull through. Now we should have 3 loops on the hook. We yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And that's how we make a single crochet decrease. Now we're going to make one single crochet into the next stitch again. And after that we're going to make another single crochet decrease into the next 2 stitches. So the pattern of this round is one single crochet into one stitch and then a single crochet decrease into the next 2 stitches. And in total we're going to repeat this pattern 6 times, and in the end we should have 12 single crochets in total. Here I am at the last 3 stitches of this row, and I'm making a single crochet into the first one of them. And now I'm going to make a single crochet decrease into the last 2 stitches of this row. To end the row, we're making a slip stitch into the first single crochet of row 7. We begin row 8 with making a slip stitch into the first stitch right here. Then we're making a single crochet into the same first stitch. And after that we're making a half double crochet into the same first stitch. Now we're moving on to the second stitch right here, into which we're going to make a half double crochet, then 1 single crochet, and then 1 slip stitch. Now we're going to repeat the same for the next 2 stitches. So into the next stitch we're making 1 slip stitch, 1 single crochet, and 1 half double crochet. Then into the next stitch we're going to make 1 half double crochet, one single crochet, and 1 slip stitch. So we're going to repeat this pattern until the end of the row, and in total we should have 6 petals. After we made the last petal, we can cut the yarn. We pull it through. Now we insert the hook into the last stitch into which we made the very last slip stitch. Then we grab the yarn and pull it through. Now we have to weave in the ends of the yarn and then it's finished. Now it's time to take the fairy light and we're going to bring the first two lights together by folding it like that. Then we fold the fairy light one more time like this. After that, we take one flower and we're going to put the two lights into the magic circle of the flower. Now we move on to the next two lights and we bring them together by folding them like this. Now we fold the fairy light on both sides like this so that we can push the lights into the magic circle of the next flower. So we take the next flower and push the lights into the magic circle. We're going to repeat the same for the next two lights. To secure the lights in the flower, we have to pull them apart and then we're going to twist them like that. Now we have to figure out how we want them to be arranged. And then we should find out if it fits into the bell jar. Now we take the wire and place it in the middle like this. Then we grab the yarn and secure it with our fingers. When we have secured it, we can start wrapping the yarn around the wire and the fairy light. So about this point, we should place the flowers into the bell jar to check out how much of the wire we have left until the bottom. So I would wrap the yarn around up to this point so we have enough place left for attaching the leaves. So now I'm wrapping the yarn around up to this point. Now it's time to attach the leaves, and to do that we place the leaf where we want it to be, and the yarn that we left should be facing downwards. Then we take the yarn and wrap it around the leftover yarn of the leaf. And then we wrap the yarn around the bottom of the leaf. Then we're repeating the same for the other leaves. After we attach the leaves, we can cut the yarn, and then we take this yarn and one or two of the other strings of yarn and make a knot. Now we can cut the rest of the yarn. Now we bend the wire into a spiral. Then we put it in the bell jar and place it in the middle. Now we have to glue the flower onto the bell jar, and it's enough to only glue some spots on the spiral onto the bell jar, and make sure to push the spiral onto the bottom while the glue dries. Now we put the whole fairy light, including the on and off switch, into the bell jar. After that, we can fill out the bottom with the wadding. The only thing that is left now is switching on the fairy light, and then it's done.